I spotted some cows moving up here. Good morning, everybody. Over there we got them now. And there's the red one following. There you are. The rest of them are up higher, way over there. Up on the level, and there's a big level spot up there behind that stone, extending northward and going back a little bit towards the west. So they're grazing down this whole Mount Arbel. There won't be any rain till November probably, in December, and that'll bring about the new growth then. But there's obviously still a lot up there for them to graze to last that time. In Ireland, the farming is now all the green grass and the hay is for the winter, but they have hay that's still in its spot up there because it's all dried up, but it's still there. It's beautiful to see the light here in the water. Somebody said they liked it the other day when I sat down, so they must have gotten tired strolling. So I was thinking I'll do people of that persuasion a little favour. I can sit down here on this stone, if you think that's a good idea for today. We can also stay strolling, as the promise of the title is. Sunrise stroll and chat here at the Sea of Galilee. It's amazing how this beautiful world that God has given us is also a theatre of conflict. On the other hand, times of conflict, while they bring out the worst in some people, they also bring out great heroic virtue in others. People who don't give in to hatred. Maybe a family member does, who don't give in to revenge. Maybe friends do. People who do good. You know, that Mount of Beatitudes expression up there. Bless those who persecute you. Do good to those who hurt you. And you will be known as children of the Father. And it's not just the ones that have F-16s, it's the ones that have, when Pope Francis says it this way, he says, when plates fly, I think that must be an expression in Spanish. And that happens then obviously in kitchens and in work areas. Tensions rise, and how to become a person of conciliation. Today's readings are kind of upset readings, where things get upset, both for Jeremiah and for Jesus. And that's very telling, you know. How in the case of Jeremiah, the people think just because they have the temple in Jerusalem, they can live the way they do. They kind of got God under control, they kind of got... But all of life is relationship. And control slips. It doesn't last forever. And it can slip quickly. Those who trust in horses, those who trust in themselves, so Jeremiah delivers the message that they need to convert. It's not possible to continue living in a selfish way, in a self-centered way. And he says, if you continue doing that, you're undermining your society. And everything will be lost. And they consider that an unpatriotic and evil deed against their people. You know, we have this longing for a paradise in this world. And there's something in our heart that wants that, and yet there's attitudes in our heart that go against what that should be. Greed and ambition, deceit. And the priests and the prophets, so there's a category of people called prophets, they lay hold of Jeremiah crying, you must be put to death. Because he had said this house will be like Shiloh, it will be destroyed. As the temple in Shiloh was destroyed. And all the people that are gathering around Jeremiah in the temple, tremendous tension. They want to put him to death. Imagine if somebody spoke like this to the top leaders of people with self-indulgence. That's so destructive. But it's very hard to do even in the family, you know. Somebody's going down a path of substance abuse, of relationship abuse. It's not always easy to find the words to win that person. It's not enough to make a protest. That usually doesn't work with people. It's not enough. People turn against protest, especially in our time where there's such a cult, such a recognition of personal autonomy and freedom. That's funny. Over there I see two jet skis having a great time, but I can't get them on the screen. It's just too far. Well, I think they're on the screen there, but it's too hazy. The gift of the human eye, despite all these great wonderful cameras and the phones have, their capacity, the human eye can see so much detail. All the intelligence invested in developing these cameras is amazing, you know. So Jeremiah is in dire straits, and we have this Psalm 69. Lord, in your great love, answer me. Let's say we're living in a society that has turned very violent, a society that is overindulgent, a substance abusing society, a trampling of rights society. Then to call that out is very, very tough, very challenging. Jeremiah says, I have become an outcast to my brothers, a stranger to my mother's sons. We have that famous line that we'll find later in the Gospels at the cleansing of the temple, same center of interest. Zeal for your house consumes me. And the insults of those who blaspheme you fall upon me. And the scene in the Gospel is very similar, because Jesus is back home in Nazareth. And sure enough, they don't accept him. And it uses the exact same language we have there in Psalm 69. The people were astonished and said, where did this man get such wisdom and mighty deeds? Is he not the carpenter's son? What right does he have to be talking to us like this? Where did he get it? This is strange. It doesn't match our expectations. God is a God of surprises. Where does he get all this? We can't, it doesn't fit our scheme of things, the way we understand. We want him just to be another one of us. Why doesn't he just get his tools and do a bit of woodwork and leave us alone? And he did not work many mighty deeds there because of their lack of faith. Oh, by the way, regarding the question of the brothers and sisters of Jesus, there's a very interesting commentary today by that Australian guy in the Daily Gospel Exegesis, logical Bible commentary. And I still have that mentioned in there. I'm not sure if I have a link in the notes. And I also didn't yet take out the link I put in for Father James Shea and his marvelous talk on the Eucharist. There were lots of other talks. I meant to tell you about one, I'm not sure if I did, about a sister who gave a talk. And, oh gosh, I don't even remember her name now. And she's given an amazing talk at the Eucharistic Congress. It's about half an hour. Why can't I think of her name? And there's a whole lot of women who give talks there, and I haven't heard all their talks. And they're just really magnificent. I was there almost 2 weeks ago in Indianapolis. If you're interested there, I recommend them. But you have that for the logical Bible study, and he commented in depth that, and in that expression, the brothers and sisters of Jesus, even the Gospels themselves point out that 2 of these 4 brothers that are mentioned by name in another text of the Gospel, well, in this text of the Gospel, James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas, are also mentioned in the New Testament as being sons of a different Mary, which confirms the understanding that the word brother is more loosely used, like for cousins or close relatives. So I won't go into that because he does a fantastic job with that. If you want to hear it, check it out. I think the bigger point I want to make is how today how we are self-defensive. We want to control the situation. We don't want to be entering our ways. And obviously the people who are listening to this live stream are people that also pray, that are pious, and that want a world living, a God-centered world. I think that's most of the people listening. Maybe there are some people who are listening, I think, that are agnostic or atheist, and they just like this whole sunrise stroll and chat in the morning. Look at how the sky is changing. And everybody here is welcome, you know. So I'm not wagging a finger, but maybe what we can do is we can also recognize the challenge in the human heart and the need for really for help, for enlightenment, for grace. And especially when it comes to serious conflict, the taking of life, the holiness of marriage, the challenge of service and generosity. Thinking about others, how we see them, how we transmit. When we find people that are very negative, how we react to them. Because they're also temples of God. Maybe a little bit ruined. To pray for them. So we seem to have a lot of tension in both readings and a lot of serenity here. Just in the whole setup this morning. Whatever you have in your life today, whether it be tensions or serenity, I wish you closeness to your family and acceptance of God's plan and development. Things can happen differently than we anticipated. And how to say yes to God who comes in differently in our lives. Something that we weren't expecting. Challenges in different areas. God bless you all. See you later, alligators.